Will brings up something, Zach, that I wanted to get your opinion on here, something that ties into a Shurmur remark today. When you only give your 1,000-yard running back, back-to-back 1,000-yard rusher, 2 years in a row, there will be no running game. I guess he means to be right, because he only got 4 carries, did Phillip Lindsay, right, in this last game. Now, real quick, Pat Shurmur must have read a Mile High Huddle article, must have been listening to the radio. I don't know. Well, he was ready, all right? And he even said that. He goes, I basically, in fact, let me just do the share screen on how do you get Phillip Lindsay more involved? What do you got to do? Real quick, here's what he said so everyone can follow along here. How can you get Phillip Lindsay more involved in the offense? He goes, you can hand it to him. Obviously, that's one. And then there's opportunities for him to catch the ball either as a check down or as a primary. We had a couple of those opportunities the other night. I was preparing for this, that this might be a question. I think it's good if Phillip touches the ball.
What?
Dude, get this guy at NASA because he is a rocket scientist, okay?
What a Mensa candidate.
Dude, if he's not going to go work at NASA, Shurmur needs to be the brain surgeon we all need. Okay, this is the guy. I think it's good if Phillip touches the ball, and we'll keep trying to get it to him. So just really being very dismissive and nonchalant while also betraying how a sensitivity to the issue. Because he admitted, I was preparing for this question, and yet he completely plays it down. No, Pat, I get it. Game flow dictated some things toward the end of the game, but Zach, the Broncos were in this thing until the end of the third quarter. Then it got out of whack, and I get it. You got to throw. But, dude, just bad. If I'm the Denver Broncos today, if I'm Vic Fangio, I'm having to sit down with Pat in the way he managed his Zoom media availability on Thursday.
I can't stop shaking my head right now. I did not even see that quote when I was looking through the email of the quotes. I mean, that's either blatantly trolling the media or someone who maybe knows the writings on the wall, Chad. He knows that he's maybe not long for the organization. He has nothing to lose. But it's ultimately a bigger indictment on himself. He's kind of snitching on himself by saying, I was preparing to get the question as to why you're not giving the best player the ball. I was preparing you guys to ask me why I'm not doing my job correctly. That is Pat Shurmur, folks. And I can spend the next hour and a half tearing into this guy, but finally, most of Broncos country is coming around to how ridiculously bad this guy is. Locke hasn't been great this year, but that one quote about Phillip Lindsay, who most of us can agree on, he's not a controversial figure like Drew Lock or a player. Phillip Lindsay is a really good running back. And if anything else, that should show you. It's a fireable offense. I'm not just sitting down with Pat Shurmur after saying that. I am firing him. Mike Shula can handle the rest. I mean, Jesus, give the best player the ball. And you say number one, hand it to him? I hope Broncos fans, you can hate Locke all you want, but please do admit that Pat Shurmur is the worst offensive coordinator, worse than Musgrave, worse than Mike McCoy, worse than Kubiak was, the worst in quite a while, I would say.
All right, Noah Fant, another guy who has been woefully underutilized. I would say inexcusably so. All right, this is a guy who is not only a former first-round pick, but just based on his skill set alone, has the makings for being a top 5 receiving tight end in the league. And the way this season started, even though it was lopsided, one half he'd produce and then disappear and back and forth, he started off this season as an obvious and evident focus in the game plan. Even though it was uneven, he was getting attention by way of the ball. Then he's disappeared. Week 8, he gets 10 targets, does Noah Fant, and he has himself a day. The Broncos win the game. Shocker. In the last 2 weeks combined, Zach, he gets 9 targets, adds up to like 6 receptions and 60-something yards, back-to-back losses. On whether or not he would like to feature Noah Fant more in the offense, Pat Shurmur said, quote, I think it's good when he catches the ball. We try to each week give him opportunities, and in some weeks it plays out better than others. But I think it's a good thing when he's involved. He's obviously a big piece of the passing game as well as the run, close quote. Now, Zach, before I serve this back over to you, let me see if I can find this. It's something to the effect of, well, I'll just paraphrase. He also blamed in large part, here it is. Oh, wait, is this it? No, it's not it. But he blamed basically the way this game turned on Noah Fant's holding penalty that wiped off Drew Lock's rushing touchdown at the end of the second quarter, which would have given the Broncos a 13-10 lead heading into halftime. And of course, it didn't play out that way. But again, just very, can you see what I mean about not only being kind of like dejected and down, but passive aggressively being combative with the media?
And completely tone deaf. I'm still shaking my head over that Phillip Lindsay answer, but this one's right up there. I think it's good when he catches the ball. I think it's good when my former first-round tight end, who's my second best pass catcher on the team right now behind an injured Cortland Sutton, catches the ball. And this coming from the guy who ignored him in the whole second half of the season opener. Wow. I am truly, Chad, for one of the rare times in my life, speechless as to the ineptitude that he's projecting. It's one thing to even say, to think these things or to call plays with this reasoning in mind. For him to come out and say these words publicly, the fact that we're reading it on the screen right now is baffling to me.
On why the run game hasn't been effective in recent weeks and what the Broncos can do differently.
Ooh.
Quote, I think it's important when we run the ball that we make yards. I think that keeps us out of those long yardage situations. Again, guys, why is this dude not working at NASA? We had some good runs the other day, but we didn't have enough of them. I think it's fair to say in a couple of the games in the last month, as the score stretches out, things change. We've got to do more early in the game to keep it in a run-pass situation. Had the game ended at halftime 13-10, I think our field position was a little bit better. It just didn't play out that way. Then we come out in the second half and we have a 3-and-out, which is unfortunate. We've got to avoid that as well. But anyways, I believe that in running the football, and I think it's something that we need to do more and better. So why aren't you, Pat?
I wish the quote was still there. Did he say, I think it's good when we can make yards? Was that
sorry. Yeah. Well,
I just want to slam him some more because I can't believe I'm reading. I feel like I'm in the Twilight Zone. I feel like I'm dreaming right now. I think it's important when we run the ball that we make yards, and yet he doesn't run the ball or make yards. I nothing more, Chad. Back to you.